What's going on, guys? This is Splurge bringing you week one. I'm just going to double check this is working. Okay, cool. What's going on, guys? This is Splurge bringing you week one of the UPC. So this week we're facing Bash of the New York Mews. I'm just going to quickly show you his draft. So you had Tapu Koko, Komodo, Umbreon, Dalmise, Quillfish, Alolan Raichu, Mega Metagross, Superior, Silvally, Tornadus T, Mudsdale, and Dente. So, looking at the drafts, I didn't particularly like my matchup here. Kind of the electric terrain spam mixed with Mega Metagross, and then the possibilities of kind of Superior and Tornadus T and Entei on the side. And Komodo, like Komodo tore apart my draft, and kind of when I looked at it, if it's set up, I was gone. What I decided to do was I decided to bring some of my tech week one. So we have Wandering Eye here, the Claydol. So I'm bringing Trick Room. So I have Claydol's max Spadef, so it can tank as much of a hit from both Raichu and Tapu Koko and any of the other special attackers. It's running Explosion, Earth Power, and Rapid Spin. Spin because I want to keep the rocks away. Because I'm running Lugia and Gliscor and Incineroar, all of which don't particularly enjoy rock spin up. Earth Power is for the electric spam, and then Explosion is just to kind of hit hard on something if I have the opportunity. Yeah, so its general job was setting up Trick Room and just hanging around to be able to set up more Trick Rooms. Next we have Coach, the Incineroar, running Expert Belt, Intimidate, max HP, max attack, Adamant, absolute lowest speed as possible. We're abusing this boy this week, so we're running Earthquake, Darkest Lariat, Flare Blitz, and U-Turn. So this is basically my sweeper. This is my breaker, all in one. Like this mon will tear apart the majority of Bash's offensive presence under Trick Room. It just needs to get there under Trick Room, and we're sorted. So next one we have Clawed Up the Gliscor, Toxic Orb, Poison Heal. We're running Toxic U-Turn, Roost, and Earthquake. Toxic is for the Umbreon. I don't like Umbreon against my team. It just kind of sits there and lives. U-Turn is for a slow U-Turn, preferably into Coach or Wandering Eye, one of the two, to either set up Trick Room or abuse it. Pardon me. Roost to try and keep it alive for longer, and then Earthquake has some easy stab for the Mega Metagross. And so I believe I've EV'd it to take a single hit from a Mega Metagross, but for a Mega Metagross Ice Punch, as you find out, it does, but I think it's more of a roll than a certainty. Next we have Le Grande Wall, our Lugia. Yes, it's pressure. This actually probably cost me. It should have been multi-scale, and I forgot to switch it to multi-scale. It's a Calm Mind Recover set with Aeroblast and Giga Drain. It's got the different stab this time round, partly because I don't want to be giving Umbreon safe switches into this by just clicking Psychic. And so Giga Drain to try and kind of just keep its longevity there. And Aeroblast for the Komodo. So the Komodo I did not like coming, or the Superior. This was going to be a solid wall to them, and then also counter them. Our fifth one on the team is Regen Core number 2, Alamomola, running Rocky Helmet Regenerator, Wish, Protect, Scold, Toxic. It's max defense. It's Alamomola being the fat fish it is. I mean, there's not much else to say about it. It's there to Wish Pass into anything which doesn't already have reliable recovery to try and just keep them there longer. And then Scold to try and possibly pick up the burn on Mega Metagross, and Toxic to Toxic up whatever I don't like the look of. Finally, we have Pink Princess, our Mega Diancie. I decided to bring it despite Metagross coming, as so this actually does put a decent amount of work on the switches into Electric Terrain Spam and Mega Metagross with Earth Power, and also easily OHKO's Umbreon, even at max SPDF, or at least is a guaranteed 2-co. Diamond Storm was for the Tornadus T, as a just something to cover it. I didn't really have much else for Taunty. I didn't think it was coming this week, and I really felt that the Electrorain plus Mega Metagross, just because it's the first week and Bash wants to try out all of the new toys and see how they work, and I felt that with our matchup, it was a free week for him to really kind of see how they work together, and so I kind of had to bring the real Trick Room tech to try and at least keep me in the fight. But yeah, so we're going to go straight into the replay. So as you can see, he brings the Electric Spam, Mega Metagross, Umbreon, Mudsdale, and Silvally. So the Silvally I wasn't particularly expecting. I wasn't sure what it was going to do. The Mudsdale, I said in the post-draft analysis that I didn't particularly like the look of it, and so we'll see how it goes. I feel like oh, hang on, no, let's not have you. I want to stay with my guy. Where are you? Tombo, come back. Let's play that. Sorry about this. There we go. Alright. Anyway. But yeah, so my initial thoughts were, so there isn't really anyone here which I can't just set up Trick Room with Claydol on here. If he opens up with Mega Metagross, I probably will switch out into one of the Fatfish or Incineroar. But generally, this is an easy start for Claydol. So we lead Claydol. He goes Mudsdale, and Mudsdale can do diddly squat to Claydol, so we go straight for the Trick Room. And I'm really lagging out here. This is going to be fun. Let's close a couple tabs. But so from here we have we switched in Gliscor to try and get the Toxic off. He tried to Toxic the Claydol. We just were happy to go into the Gliscor. He then rolls us out into Diancie, which I then switch into Alamamola. He goes for the Heavy Slam. Yeah, a little bit of chip off. I now have another opportunity to try and Toxic this up, which he also returns with a Toxic. So I believe this is, yeah, we both get Toxicked. Now, so from here, my thought was I want Trick Room to still be up, and I want Claydol to be healthy, and I want Rocks out of here. So we switch into, it forces us into Lugia, where so I didn't like this because it would be an easy Toxic position for him. So he just roars us out again, surprisingly enough, into Claydol, which is kind of nice. And so we get the Wish up, so we're back up to full health. And so we Rapid Spin off the Stealth Rocks. He gets the Stamina boost. But so at this point, Toxic is doing what it needs to do. We're getting the nice chip off of Mudsdale, putting it into range for a Giga Drain off Lugia, or just a general clear from like Diancie or Incineroar. We get the Trick Room up again as he goes for Stealth Rocks. Yeah, low main suggested Heal Bolt. In hindsight, that would have been a good bring, but unfortunately, I didn't bring it. So we Rapid Spin away the Stealth Rocks again. I think we were actually speed tied here. But so Mudsdale goes down to Toxic. Alamamola picking up the kill there. And then so Umbreon comes in. And so I didn't particularly like it getting a free foul play off. So we switch into Incineroar, and then he baton passes out into the Raichu. And so I go for the U-turn here because I'm feeling like Dark Slayer is going to be too much for an easy choice here. So we get the U-turn off of the Umbreon, which is nice. We go into Gliscor, get the Poison Heal up. We're back up to 88%. He then baton passes back out. I went for the Toxic in hope that he'd stay there. In hindsight, I probably should have just Earthquakes because I would have got a huge amount of damage off onto the Mega Gross. But yeah, so here is probably my first major misplay. I should have just gone straight to Alamomola in hindsight, I don't particularly appreciate taking the Ice Punch from Mega Mescaros. I know that I should live in theory, but it's like Gliscor still had things to do here. I mean, it had the bulk there to take an HP Ice, I believe, off of Tapu Koko. And I mean, it was ground pressure onto the rest of his draft and the team that he brought. So I just went for the U-turn here to try and get some kind of pivot power, and so I took the Ice Punch. So I mean, it's less than ideal. So I switched into Claydol here, and so I want to set up the Trick Room again. If he Ice Punched, I knew I lived. But so he switches into Umbreon again, so I get the free Trick Room up, at which point I'm able to switch out again into Coach Oak because it puts pressure onto the Umbreon. I don't have much that really takes on the Umbreon too well. I go for the Dark Lariat in case he decides to try and pull the same set of moves again, as he goes for a Foul Play. It's a nice amount of chip onto the Incineroar. It probably gives away that I'm a bulky set as well. I go for the U-turn again, getting clean 40% out. I go for the Gliscor in hope that he goes for the Wish, but he goes for the Foul Play. So I lose my Gliscor early on, which wasn't that brilliant. But now it gives me a free switch into the Diancie, as so I predict the Baton Pass out, and so anything here pretty much doesn't appreciate an Earth Power. And then we find out that Silvally is Steel type as well. So it's just perfect timing, and so we're able to take the Silvally out. No parting shot shenanigans. I don't appreciate having to face Silvally. It's just not a fun mon to have to prep for. The Mega Mescaros comes out. I switch to the Alamomola again, getting some nice Rocky Helmet chip. And so I go for the Wish as he switches into Tapu Koko to put pressure on me. So here I switch out into Claydol because I know I can take any hit that Tapu Koko has. Even a Grass CMC only does about 50, I seem to remember. So we get back up to full with Claydol. It's another opportunity for Trick Room to go up. And now we have Umbreon back in, and so I just want to try and put as much pressure on this Umbreon. So I switch back in Alamomola. He lets the Umbreon gets Toxic for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what. Oh, he's outslowed, and so he Baton Passes out into Tapu Koko. And so I go Claydol again because I can take anything. It goes for Thunderbolt, so you take even less. And so here I seem to remember I go for the Earth Power, which does 15%, not much at all. But we now have the Umbreon Toxic, which is the main issue. So, and we're out of Trick Room, so I can go Diancie and put even more pressure on this. He goes for the Wish. And so he then Baton Passes out, whilst I go for the Trick Room again. And so he goes back into Umbreon, and I crit on the Earth Power, which was a bit unfortunate. I wasn't going to kill him with the second Earth Power here, but so he protects, and then lets the Toxic run him down a bit further, at which point now I'm well within range of killing with Earth Power. I think it did between 18 and 26. And so Diancie picks up its kill. The double protect going off, interesting to see. I wasn't sure exactly what Bash was thinking about that with Umbreon there. He goes into Mega Metagross here. Now, so I go straight into Alamomola as he predicts that, goes to the Tapu Koko. I still have a solid switch in here of Claydol, and so this is where things really kind of just fall off the runners. So this is where let's quickly get to the end of this. So I go for the Trick Room. So I now have Trick Room up. So the calc for the Mega Metagross against the Claydol on an Ice Punch is that it kills, and so that kills. That's just the end of the story. I was actually happy for Claydol to fall at this point because it meant that Incineroar could come in under Trick Room, and Earthquake won. It just straight won. Earthquake plus Dark Slayer or Flare Blitz, whatever you want. It just, these three mons fell to Incineroar, and so I just instead of making the aggressive play and possibly taking chip against Incineroar, I went for the Earth Power next turn in the hope that he'd just Ice Punch me and kill off the Claydol because it's causing so many issues. And so in hindsight, I should have gone for the hard switch into Incineroar as he switches out into Koko. And so he takes the Earth Power, but so he's burning Trick Room moves, Trick Room turns, and I'm slowly dying to Toxic, which is not fun. And so he switches back out into the Mega Metagross, and so we go for another Earth Power because I'm thinking, guys, come on, just kill me already. And so we're now actually into HP Ice range as we switch out. And so he goes for the. I predicted the Bullet Punch, so we head out into Alamomola, and so I now wish up on the Hammer Arm. I'm not sure what Hammer Arm was for, whether or not he expected Incineroar to come in. But so we've now wished up. We're ready to take something in, and Koko comes back in, and so pretty much either of these two mons could take Claydol, and I want to keep it around. So I go into Lugia on the HP Ice. So Lugia is back up to full here. So here again, this is just like the selection of turns which really ruined my game. So if I was multi-scale here, I'm pretty sure that I was on for the win. As you'll see, what I play next is I switch out first in kind of the hope of seeing a double or something or anything. But so we're now here, and so Koko kills off Claydol, which is really unfortunate. Claydol was the MVP of this game. So here the Volt switch would have done half that, and so I would have had the Calm Mind. So I go for Calm Mind here, and so I would have had Calm Mind up against the Alolan Raichu, and I think so I would have lived a Thunderbolt here at +1 if I had been multi-scale against the Volt switch. But so I Calm Mind up, and so again, this is the second mistake that occurs very soon. Well, the third mistake. So I die to Thunderbolt, and he's Life Orb, and I don't see the fact that he's Life Orb. If I saw that he was Life Orb here, I could have stood a chance if I'd gone Incineroar and just straight taken out the Alola. But so I go into Diancie in the hope that I can Trick Room up, and I die. So again, so there's another issue there. So I should have just gone straight for the Earth Power in the hope that I could outspeed it. I would have then had 3 mons to pivot about to protect up on an Alamomola to stall out the electric terrain. Basically, just this last set of moves were terrible. So I lose the Diancie to Surf. And so then Incineroar actually goes and takes out the Alolan Raichu and lives a Surf because of its bulk. But then the Koko comes in and finishes off Incineroar and Alamomola. So Bash wins a 1-0 victory. I mean, just looking back, I'm really annoyed at this kind of last 10 moves. So I should have won, and I had so many opportunities to win, but I made middle play. I made mid play kind of moves instead of making the aggressive play, and I was expecting Bash to make the aggressive play, and he didn't. But so I mean that's just life. You win some, you lose some. But yeah, so we lost 1-0. For the first week, though, I think this was quite a good showing. It showed that we have a decent amount of versatility. The fact that we had like one of my tier 5 picks caused so many issues for like some of the top picks out of Bash's draft, and the fact that I managed to go for the majority of the game without even attempting to use Lugia, and I didn't even bring Kartana. I think that this bodes well for the rest of the season, the fact that I'm able to rely on completely different mons than what you'd expect. But yeah, so hopefully we'll come back next week with we'll bounce back with a good victory. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good week. Good luck to everybody else in the UPC who watches this with their matches this week, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.